Founders hate social media. They hate it because they don't think that they have something to say. They think they are competing with influencers and that they basically just wasting their time. It feels like the opposite of work. Now here is the uncomfortable truth. This is wrong. It's costing you leverage, opportunities, and most importantly, it will cost you time. Now, as someone that has built his own audience of 200,000 followers so far, has made a good living off of this, has worked with different founders, and also has helped to raise millions in dollars for biotech companies because of content, I think I can share one or two things why this matters. Now, if you are a founder or operator and you feel that resistance when someone comes to you and is like, hey, you need to post online, then this video is for you. This is not about growth hacking. It's not about chasing trends. It's about why your mental model of social media is completely outdated and what it's actually costing you. In the next few minutes, I want to do three things. One, I want to talk about why founders think that way. Second, I want to talk about why invisibility is death. And third, why a founder that actually shows up on social media does not have to be an influencer. If you ever said, I just want to build, then this one is for you. Why founders reject social media. Most founders have the same reaction when it comes to social media. They think it's not really useful to them because it feels like that they are wasting time on the internet. It doesn't feel like building. It feels like they're becoming a marketer and that everything they actually should be doing gets kind of like compromised by showing up online with strangers they don't even know and having to prove something. And honestly, they are not completely wrong. We live in a world where noise and speed and everything that is not really moving the needle forward is getting rewarded. And that's a problem. So now naturally, if you are building something, your craft, and you are on your mission, and you're just in the zone of your business, your nervous system naturally just pushes back. Showing up online feels like you have to oversimplify things that you don't want to, and you become kind of like this character. You become like this version of yourself that you are not really feeling connected towards to. And here is where the mistake is. You're confusing bad usage of social media with actually leverage that accelerates your business and doesn't punish you. Social media is not bad. In fact, today it is a huge part when it comes to building a business, especially when you are in the online game and you're building an online business. There is no way you cannot have social media going for you. The cost of staying invisible. Now, this is the part that founders never like to hear. Being invisible is not neutral anymore. It used to be maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago where you could simply build and the work that you put into your project would have kind of caught on by some people, and then the network effect around that with the investors and people just naturally being interested in the same thing would have helped you to gain that momentum. Today, that's impossible, almost impossible at least, because there is so much stuff going on this World Wide Web that if you are not present there, someone else with, frankly, a more shitty version probably of your product will win because they are just active and have a community, they have an audience, they build that trust, and they will outperform you. They will simply outperform your better product. If nobody knows what you're building, then you are not in control of that narrative. And we know how fast information spreads today. So if you don't own the narrative, someone else will. And that's either good, usually it's not, or it's extremely bad and it's actually going to put you out of business. So in the end, other people define you, or even worse, they don't even care about you. I have seen founders with incredible products losing hiring opportunities, investors, and overall momentum to the people that were building trust and had more going for them when it comes to online presence. And yes, it might seem unfair, but in the end, that's how the game is played today. And if you're not playing that game by its rules, then you're not playing the game at all. Social media as a trust distribution. Now here's what we're gonna reframe. Social media is not about performing, it's about distribution. You essentially want to be in control of that narrative and create as much mind share as possible. The people do not trust brands with a logo anymore. They want to have someone with a face, with skin in the game, so to speak, and show up by connecting with the audience and the community, but also by bringing in that perspective and that very specific angle where they are like, yes, I can trust this whole thing because I can connect with the founder. So essentially your perspective becomes the differentiator. It becomes the one thing that makes you stand out from all the other things or all the other founders. It also, if someone has a similar product, there is still a huge gap between the one founder that actually has built an online presence and that trust that comes with it, and then the other founder that has not done that and just sporadically comes in every 2 weeks, shares a feature update, and is gone again. So which one would you rather want to kind of like be invested in? The one that is close to its community and always kind of like transparent, and then maybe the other one that is just kind of like in and out and you don't really know what's going on. So you become the magnet of the project. You become that one thing that is connecting everything. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be annoying. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to be all of these things. You simply just need to be there on a consistent basis and build a brand. If someone sees a piece of content from you, that is where the connection is being made. That is where they are like, yes, that's exactly how I think as well. That's also how I would approach it. That's maybe not what I think, but I like what they said over here. So basically you're building a profile that is now bringing in the right people. So when you are about to sell the thing you want to sell, or to onboard the people you want to onboard, or to get the investors being invested, you have them. You don't need to prove yourself anymore with a pitch deck, but you actually already did that 700 times on the internet over 2 years, and you actually will win over any other pitch deck. That's it. That's the game. How to show up without selling your soul. Now, this is an interesting one because I am someone that just really is always trying to be on top of the game when it comes to social media. Not just the psychology behind how humans communicate, but also the fact that the algorithms are they are constantly trying to catch up to our behavior. Many people think that the algorithm is dictating what we consume. And yes, it kind of does on one hand, but it's just doing that because it learned the behavior on this end, on the human side, of actually understanding how we post, how we share content, where do we stop reading, where do we stop watching, where do we leave a comment, where do we leave a like, why are we sending this in the DMs to other people. This is all influenced by us, not the algorithm. Not the algorithm is going to be like, hey, this is actually, what we want. No, it's like, hey, this is human behavior, that's what they do, so we're going to do this more often because that's what also drives us more revenue. So basically the point is you don't have to be an influencer. You can train your audience. If you say that you post once a week for yourself, you don't have to announce that, but if you say you post once a week, then that is a good start by showing up once a week, and then simply train everyone that is starting to follow you that they now understand this person is there on a weekly basis. So that allows you to do everything else on the side that you have to do, or your main things that you have to do, but still you are present. The worst thing that you can do is that you are going on a posting spree for like 7 days, 5 times a day, and then vanish for like 3 weeks. That is bad because of two main things. One is people will like, okay, what happened? Where is he? Where is she? What's going on? So trust going down. And the second thing is, because of that, the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, is going to be like, well, this is not really a priority for us anymore. They were doing pretty good, but now they are not there anymore. So I think we don't need to show it to anyone else in their audience or target audience. So let's just deprioritize the whole thing, And then if they decide to come back, we start again from zero. Great. Now you have two things that went wrong. One thing is you lost the trust already, or declining the trust of your community and audience and potential clients. And the other thing is you have to start over again with the algorithm actually trying to help you. The algorithm is helping you. It's not punishing you. It's only punishing people that want to have this quick kind of like distribution circle where they think like they deserve more attention than everyone else. No, you build the trust. People come back to you. People connect with you. People engage with you. The algorithm understands that. It's like, wow, here's action. Here's engagement going on. That's interesting. That's time spent on our platform. That's retention. We're going to give that account or that person so much more exposure because we want that person to be active, because clearly if he or she is active, the people that are involved and the community is also going to be more active, and that increases everything. Make this a habit for yourself. Never go there with a 7-day plan because there's a launch coming and then be like completely off for the rest of the time. That is a very bad strategy because you get punished in all the directions. So no, you don't have to be an influencer, but you have to be consistent. It can be once a week, it can be 3 times a week, it can be 7 times a week. The more the better, obviously, because it builds trust faster, but you have to stick to a plan. Otherwise, no one is going to understand what you're doing, neither a human being or an algorithm. And the right people will recognize that. They will always recognize that. To wrap everything up, you don't actually hate social media. You just hate the game that has been played for so long by all those influencers and loud personalities. You don't like that. You don't want to be that, and that's fine. But if thoughtful leaders and builders are staying quiet, then the noise is going up while the signal stays down. So yes, we need more builders to show up. We need more founders to share their stories, because that increases everything and improves everything. That improves how we see social media, how we act on social media, and also it improves how your business will drive numbers home. It's not in the newspaper anymore. It's not in the television anymore. It's not even PR anymore in general. Like, you're spending probably so much time doing PR instead of taking the same amount of money and putting it into social media and putting it into content creation and build an entire team around that. This is what modern founders are doing. It's not just what I'm preaching here, it's what they do. They have like 10, 15 people in the background doing nothing else than content. And if you think you cannot even post one piece per week, you're lost and you will keep losing, because that's what makes your business thrive. And by the way, don't forget to leave a comment and share your opinions. And I love to talk about this stuff. So I love to have a dialogue and conversation down below. And yeah, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.